Yeah,
like some country or something.
Oh, and I think if just because we didn't get that answer, I would bet that Major General Bill knew that. Like if there was a safe place, I guarantee he knew where it was.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to move into our next article.
Okay.
And this one says The Walking Dead season 12 would face an impossible problem after the last 3 spinoffs.
Okay. Yep.
Would you be, this is more like, I don't know that we're going to go through the article. I just wanted to talk about the whole idea of a season 12. Could you imagine like a season, like the main, bringing everybody back from the main show that survived? And we could see like Ezekiel and Aaron, and we could like see the reaction to Rick being back.
I think that's very possible. I think that's something that they should do. I think that's something they're thinking about. I don't know whether it'll just be in a completely different spinoff or if they'll actually add a season 12, because the whole reason why they didn't want to add any more seasons is because they didn't want to be affiliated with Netflix anymore with having to pay them their share of the money they're making from the show.
I did not know that.
What I heard. I don't know if that's true for sure, but I just heard that.
Okay. It's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I think it would be really neat to see all of these, the spinoffs maybe have like 1 or 2 seasons, or, I mean, well, Daryl Dixon and Dead City maybe have 2 seasons, 3 seasons, and then end each one of those spinoffs with how those characters get back to what would be the, whatever they would call a season 12.
Yeah. What I think would be even more cool than that would be like, instead of, doing the 3 spinoff, do all 6 of the spinoffs. So like, it's like the Dead City, the World Beyond, they just have just all of them, including Fear the Walking Dead, and have every single character from all the entire franchise come together to make a last final season for the main show, The Walking Dead. That would just be probably the absolute best they could probably ever do.
And see, I don't know if they'll call it The Ones Who Live, but I do think we could see a whole lot more story with Rick and Michonne, as now they have the air power behind the CRM. I mean, I would think in a lot of ways, Rick is still, he's going to be pretty high up in the CRM if he wants it. And that could connect the world. I mean, that could connect the world beyond characters. That could connect, Madison at Padre, and maybe we could see like where Morgan is. See, I want to know where Morgan is, because they hinted at Morgan coming back so hard in The Ones Who Live. I was so sure that we were going to see Morgan.
And then they just didn't show anything of him. Like, because, especially in the last episode that he appeared in Fear the Walking Dead, he said, he was going to go and find Rick with his daughter or whatever.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Then they never showed yet. They like if they really hint that in Fear the Walking Dead, because doesn't the same showrunner, doesn't he run that show too?
Well, so Gimple is like over the whole universe, so he so he has to have like say so in like, if you're going to end a character, I would think he would say, okay, you can't put these, you can't throw these darts on this board and not connect them with the string.
Yeah, exactly. Like you can't say that Morgan's going to go find Rick, but then never actually show him. And I think that would be, that should be more deserved to show them back together rather than even Daryl. I mean, Daryl, is a big character. I'd rather see that anyway. But I think for the show, that would make more sense to have them as a final, meeting would be with, Morgan, because he was there with him, at the very start of the outbreak.
Yeah, I mean,
as soon as he woke up.
Yeah, that's a reunion that to me has to happen. If there's going to be more Rick story, we have to see Rick and Morgan.
Like, I wonder if we'll see like, in the beginning of season 2, if we'll see like who she actually said on the phone, like who Carol actually said on the phone, like, like as like the starting point for
yes,
showing where Carol's been, because I'm assuming they'll show her first rather than Daryl first, just because she's new and it's whatever, kind of like what they did with Rick and Michonne. They showed Rick first, and then they showed Michonne after. And I just think that they'd show Daryl after, that whole thing happened.
Yeah, and it makes a lot of sense to me because, it's the subtitle is The Book of Carol.
Yeah.
So do you think Carol was talking about Rick and Michonne coming back?
See, I don't know if he was talking about them. Like, it would make sense now that we've seen, them, that they went back to the, back to the Commonwealth or whatever, But I think it's going to be, I think it could even be Morgan too, or Dwight even. Some people thought maybe Dwight too. Because I don't know if Dwight said anything about going back, or he was in the sanctuary at one point.
Yeah, he was in the sanctuary, and then they go back and help Madison, don't they?
Yeah, they go. Yeah, he goes back and helps Madison.
And then don't they say they're leaving? Don't they say that they're going to go to the sanctuary?
Yeah.
See, I can't help but I feel like Rick and Michonne's the easy answer there. And that's what I mean, and these writers are complex. They're good writers. So they wouldn't give us that. I don't think that I just think it makes it's too easy for us to figure that it's Rick and Michonne.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if it's a potential villain. Like, does she go find Daryl because they needed Daryl at home to face something? And when she gets back, it'll be like Rick's there and Daryl.
Yep.
To face some new threat.
Yeah. And like, it would have to be like, I'm trying to think of someone that was a threat in the past that she could have said that came back.
See, I wonder if they were talking about whoever it is that Hornsby was talking to, if it's not Primrose.
Yeah. Yeah, it could. I actually feel like it could be that. It'd actually make a lot of sense too.
Because they would have been saying they came back to the Commonwealth because that's where Carol is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when Daryl's talking to her, I always just assumed that they're talking to Alexandria, but it's he was talking to Carol at the Commonwealth, right?
Yeah.
So it would be someone that came back there, and when Rick and Michonne, I kind of picture. Well, no, I mean, they would have known to go to the Commonwealth because Michonne talked to Judith. So I guess it could be them.